Welcome everyone, lovely to have your company. This is the half hour of your day where you can sit back, relax and dream of being on a really incredible holiday. Yes. Welcome to CruiseAway, which is exactly what we're going to do.
Yes, we are. Welcome to the show, and what a bumper show it is, as we explore the cruise world's repositioning revelations. These are the journeys where ships are moving bases from one part of the world to another, giving you longer cruises, more value and a richer mix of countries and continents to visit.
Yeah, they really are incredible, and they're like the best kept secret in travel. So come closer to the screen as we head to Hong Kong from Sydney with Cunard on a stunning revelation for February in 2027 on the Queen Victoria. We also have a small ship luxurious getaway with Azamara Cruises for March in 2027, taking us to the delights of Southeast Asia.
Yeah. And the value we've secured for these trips is stunning, as we'll show you on the first big break trip with Cunard for early January 2027. We're taking you from Big Bend, Sydney Harbour, on board Queen Victoria's World Cruise, flying first to begin your indulgent 48-night getaway to London and starting the new year with 3 nights in England's trendy capital city. Ooh, wonderful. Now, it'll still be quite Christmassy in January, so it'd be nice to sort of, you know, do all the fun wintry things like go to all the different museums. The market in Covent Garden is a great one to do as well, and there's lots of great shopping down Oxford Street too. The London Eye is always wonderful for viewpoints over the entire city. You're going to just love being here. And then it's down to Southampton. We've included your transfer as well to Queen Victoria. You're going to be on board for 44 nights on this epic adventure, taking you all the way back to Oz. I just think that this is the way to do it, isn't it? This is the way to see the world in traditional cruising style on board Cunard, the original cruise line from White Star Line that recently celebrated 180 years. Can you imagine? Queen Victoria is a lovely ship. I've been blessed to have visited Queen Victoria 3 times and cruised and done guest lecturing on board. Had a whale of a time. The ballroom is a big feature on Cunard, and whether you're a dancer or you just like watching, you can definitely go and enjoy, you know, ballroom dancing every night if you want to, or take classes. They usually have professional dancers on board teaching you. They even do fencing. I mean, this is such a unique thing to get to do at sea. So Cunard always does like to lay on the glamour and sophistication in the best way possible without it being too pretentious. It's still very traditional, which is great. One of the big, you know, highlights of being on board Cunard is definitely the white gloved afternoon teas. I mean, they are fantastic. You can be having afternoon tea every night, every afternoon, excuse me, with champagne if you want to add it in. The Winter Garden's a great place to do that, actually, a great space to enjoy. And then up in the thermal suite of the spa, you know, just think about it, because you're going to be doing a transatlantic. It's a great thing to do to relax in those lovely warm waters, and then head into the sauna and steam room afterwards. You know, just sit there in your robe in the relaxation room. Maybe you've got a massage planned. Maybe you can have a massage booked every day on the crossing. I can't say I could blame you for that. What about some traditional pub grub? You can do that in the pub for sure. You can have your fish and chips, your steak and ale pie, dishes like that, and the Golden Lion. You know, really tastefully decorated and themed to give you the feeling of being in a cosy English pub at sea. I love this. I love this. Now, when it comes to enrichment, yeah, obviously you are going to be doing a crossing, so they do jam-pack the activities into the schedule to give you variety and scope. So you don't have to do everything, but you have got choice, which is great. Whether you're more artistic and you want to sit down and do some crocheting or learn to do some watercolors, or whether you are, you know, a bridge player, perhaps. You're gonna be able to find something to entertain you for sure, no matter what your pace is. It's all about taking it at your own pace on Cunard and voyaging, not just cruising, voyaging. Now, we're going to cruise out of Southampton. We're going to have 7 days at sea to enjoy the ship on this iconic crossing before landing in New York, and an overnight on board. This is rare to see on Cunard. Normally the Mary does the crossings back and forth. So to have an overnight on Victoria is wonderful, and it will enable you to head out day and night on the town in Manhattan. Head to Times Square, the Statue of Liberty. Definitely do a highlights tour if you've never been to New York before. Then we are into the Caribbean and around just out of Aruba. Bright, breezy, effortlessly relaxed with those beautiful pastel Dutch architecture houses. As you're sailing in, you'll see them, and constant sunshine, a favourite Cunard option as the Aruba highlights tour. Then we're transiting the Panama Canal, one of the great maritime experiences of your lifetime for sure. From the open decks, you'll watch the ship rise and fall through the locks with a guide from dawn to dusk, passing rainforest, lakes, engineering works. I mean, it's amazing, this, honestly. Then we're into El Salvador at Choluteca. Now, this is where you can actually go and see some of the incredible Mayan ruins at Tazumal. I'd really recommend that because they are fascinating. The Gecko volcano also is worth a visit. You can do an excursion that takes you to both. Then it's Puerto Vallarta. So pretty, this, on the Mexican Riviera, but blending really old world charm with the Pacific Coast scenery. Now, when you head downtown, you can do the sculpture walk on the Malecon and grab yourself a margarita and some guacamole. Then it's an overnight on board in Los Angeles. Oh, fantastic getting an overnight here. So this will give you an ample amount of time to see and do a lot of things in the LA area, from Universal Studios to Disneyland in Anaheim, which you can head to in a day, or the Hollywood Walk of Fame and Santa Monica. Definitely take a tour. Then it's Hawaii time, Hilo. Now, Hilo is very lush and tropical. It's a really volcanic island. And when I was in Hilo, I went up to the volcano on a bike tour. I'd recommend that. That's a great thing to do if you're active and you like getting out there. Next up, we're heading into Honolulu, which is the capital of the Hawaiian Islands, Oahu. And it mixes a lot of history with great modern amenities such as shopping experiences. But Pearl Harbor is a must-see when you're on Honolulu, on Oahu. Lakuta and Fiji is next. Latuka, it's where you can just experience the really definition of paradise, if you ask me. When you look at the ocean in Fiji, I mean, it's just nothing like it. The marine reef there is incredible. So get out there and snorkel if you can. Next up, we're into Nume in New Caledonia. Such a pretty port, this one. It feels French, you know, cafes and boulevards, but you've got the South Pacific pace for sure. Now, the Nume City and Coastal Drive tour combines scenery with a touch of European elegance. Then we're going to cruise into Sydney, where you'll simply stroll off the ship. We've brought you all the way home on this adventure, flying into London for a couple of days there before we enjoy the iconic crossing on the Queen Victoria, heading into the Caribbean, and then of course we're off to Los Angeles, Hawaii, crossing the international date line before we're into Fiji, New Caledonia, and back in Oz. What incredible and varied itinerary.
Now, this is what I call an adventure. Being part of a world cruise experience is always great. Doing it with Cunard makes it even greater. So you've got the thrill of a longer getaway and the prospect of a new year starting with big and epic adventures. And you know what? It's only about a year away, which is really, really good. Take a look at the price tag that we have here for you. I mean, this is a holiday of a completely different caliber, as you'll know if you've ever voyaged with Cunard before, because it is the 5-star treatment right the way through. And of course, a world voyage has a very different feel, has very different special events going on while you're on board. It's treated very, very differently. It is with any cruise line. If you're doing part of a world cruise, there's a different vibe on board. There's a different elevation of what happens while you're taking that journey. Now, your CruiseAway package here includes your flight from Sydney over to London, and then there's a private transfer from the airport to a hotel in London for you to enjoy a 3-night stay there. Then we transfer you down to the port in Southampton. And Southampton is that iconic port for Cunard, isn't it? On board Queen Victoria, and there you will be for over 6 weeks on that charming voyage back to Sydney. A lovely balance of true escape sailing and iconic ports. I mean, overnights in New York, Los Angeles, you're visiting the Caribbean, you're going through the Panama Canal, you're going to Hawaii, and the best of all, you end right here in Sydney. I mean, nothing could be easier, nothing could be greater than this fantastic journey. Here's all the details that you need. Remember, it is deposit today only, which will lock in your price tag, which is superb, which gives you a lot of time to do the budgeting, to do the planning, to do the research. What am I going to do when I'm in Los Angeles? What will I do when I'm in New York? I mean, the great thing is you're going to have overnights in both of those, because you probably do want to rough out a list, because there's so many highlights. In somewhere like New York, there's so many highlights, isn't there? It's like, okay, what am I going to do? And remember to back up whatever your plans are to see while you're on board with Cunard, and you'll know about this long before you actually go, will be a list of shore excursions. And quite often they can pack a real punch, because into half a day, for instance, in New York or Los Angeles, they might be able to pick out 5 or 6 of the things that you had on your list. And guess what? They take you round them all, which is amazing, and then they take you back to the ship. So that makes life even easier. I mean, this holiday is just too easy, isn't it? It's wonderful. And listen, if you want to investigate the rest of the world cruise, then just talk to the team on 1300 407 687. And any questions you have, maybe you want longer in London before you start that cruise. Again, that's not a problem. Maybe there's somewhere else you want to go and visit on the way to London. That's not a problem either. We can tailor a package that is unique to you. Just call us right now, 1300 407 687. And remember, you can talk to our team 7 days a week, because they really do have the greatest knowledge. And as you can see, access to the best deals as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, whatever your needs are when it comes to a holiday, we'll be able to find something to cater for you, and just fill in all of the gaps as well. You don't have to worry about A to B. We've got it taken care of. For our next repositioning revelation, we're back on board Queen Victoria when the day she arrives back in Sydney from our first journey. That's the 24th of February in 2027. And we'll start this second World Cruise segment on a Majesty of the Orient sailing, enjoying 19 nights of luxury on board Queen Victoria. This is going to be incredible, this one actually. Really wonderful itinerary, and being able to sail with ease out of Sydney. I mean, it's a foolproof way of going on an adventure, and especially if you don't like flying that much, and you'd be able to get it closer to home. It's just so easy for you. It's very rare to see Cunard over in Oz, so expect this one to book up very fast, I have to say. But being on board this iconic ship, just the experience of being on Cunard allows you really to, you're journeying and voyaging. You're not just cruising when you're on Cunard. And beautiful traditionally designed ships with the wooden beams, the striped deck chairs, the polished wood all around the ship, the gorgeous chandeliers. It does feel glamorous and opulent, but not imposing. It doesn't feel like it's pretentious. It just feels like the right pace, and it feels like the right balance of everything. You've even got the iconic clock in the atrium, which you never see on other ships. So I love that, apart from Cunard. But look, I mean, the theatre experience, you can even get yourself a little opera box, which would be wonderful. Nice glass of champers to watch some of the fantastic shows whilst you're on board. I love that. The restaurants, the Britannia Club is one of the main dining restaurants. Incredible, dynamic and changing menu, and you have, depending on the stateroom that you've booked, you'll have different levels of dining as well, which is all part of the classic cruising experience. The Lido Buffet, this has got ever-changing menus, lots of choices throughout the day, theme nights as well. You can pop up there for a lazy brunch. It's great. There's food around the clock, whether you're wanting to get room service late at night, or you are a real early riser, you're going to find they do breakfast super early too, which is great. Dining al fresco, another lovely part of the cruising experience, just being out on deck, watching the world float by and enjoying some beautiful, fine dining. Look at that. Oh, yes, making me hungry just looking at it. Specialty restaurants, of course, on offer for you as well, such as the Veranda. It's a menu that celebrates the finest steaks and seafood throughout the world today. Delicious Wagyu and dry-aged Angus beef as well. Now, when it comes to your bars and lounges, lots of options around the ship. The Winter Garden, the Queen's Room and Queen's Gallery as well, the ballroom, where they do lots of different shows, and of course the dance classes. So we are cruising out of Sydney, and we're starting with an overnight on board in Sydney Harbour, as the ship is your hotel here. Some of the best views in the world await. Even if you're from Sydney, there's nothing quite like staying on the harbour in a cruise ship, is there? Seeing the Opera House lit up and the harbour bridge, amazing. Next up, we're into Early Beach for the reef, which is very laid back and one of the most scientifically remarkable coastlines on earth, of course, the Whitsundays and Barrier Reef, over 70 islands. Get out there on a catamaran or sailing adventure, or maybe a helicopter tour over the reef. Then we're into Townsville, which has, confident, sunlit and quietly cultured feel to it. Nice and relaxed. You might want to head on up to the Billabong Sanctuary to see some amazing wildlife whilst you're there, before we head on into Cairns, where 2 World Heritage Sites literally physically touch. You've got the reef and the rainforest, of course. Now, the Cunard Reef and Rainforest by Sky Rail is a particularly special adventure where you get to glide silently above the canopy before descending into ancient forest. That's Bitung in Indonesia. Wonderfully raw and not often visited. This is a rarer site to see on itineraries. Now, the Waruga Burial Complex is fascinating. You can learn about thousands of years of history here. Before we head into the beautiful Philippines, Puerto Princesa, which has got these incredible subterranean caves and subterranean river that you can go and visit. Definitely book an excursion which will take you there, and a great guide to talk you through it. Then it's Manila, the capital of the Philippines. This has got the also a lot of natural beauty. Now, the Intramuros walk here explores the area that is known for its rugged natural beauty, which would be great. Before we cruise into Hong Kong, and we have an overnight on board in Hong Kong, plus 2 nights in a hotel, so 3 nights total in fabulous Hong Kong, which, arriving by sea gives you just a dramatic overview of how fascinating the city is. Glass towers rising above the harbour, and backed by jungle-covered hills. Now, the overnight also now enables you to experience the skyline day and night and wake up there right on the harbour before you head into your hotel. So I love this. So flying into, of course, starting off in Sydney with an overnight on board in the harbour before we head on to some iconic ports in Oz, over to Indonesia, beautiful Philippines, 2 ports there, before finishing up in wonderful Hong Kong. What an interesting itinerary this one is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one that you can back onto the first offer as well, if you fancy being super adventurous and you just can't get off. I'm sure you could arrange that while you're even on this. Do you know what I mean? You're on the first offer and you're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing on that show where I booked this one that this was on there as well. Let's add that. You could do that, I'm sure, while you're on board. But this is another World Cruise segment, but this time going from Oz to Hong Kong with a wonderful stay there. Your transfer included while you're in Hong Kong as well, and your flight back to Oz. Again, this is brilliant. Now, I have to tell you, insides are sold out completely. So enjoy the ocean view here for this amazing price tag. This is really great. And actually, I always think when you are cruising with someone like Cunard, you do want the best view of everything that you can possibly have. Of course, we have some amazing deals, and when you're on a ship for longer, kind of almost doesn't matter. You know that with Cunard, your accommodation is exceptional and second to none anyway. And I don't know about you, but I think the thrill of being on a ship like this, I'd want to be up first thing every morning and show me what today has to offer on board this beautiful ship. And remember, this is a great journey as well around our own shores to Indonesia, the Philippines, and ending with not just an overnight on board in Hong Kong, but you've also got the extra stay there as well. And while you're on board, it is that 5-star amazing Cunard service, the charm, the traditions, the fine cuisine, the entertainment offering, and the chance to really, again, it's a true escape of a holiday, isn't it? Because this is like a walk into a film set almost, isn't it? It is incredible. Here's all the details you need to get yourself booked. And remember, it is just a deposit today. So this is based on ocean view in terms of your accommodation on board. The insides, I'm afraid, for this segment are completely and utterly sold out. It shows you just how in advance it is worth booking any of your cruise adventures, to be honest with you, because the more ahead of time you are, the more guaranteed you are of your places. And of course, you're locking in a great price tag here as well, given that this is an ocean view, and this is 22 nights all over as well. It's fantastic. So call us today, toll free 1300 407 687, and this can absolutely be yours. And we have loads and loads and loads of these repositioning revelation shows as well, because they are fascinating journeys. You get more cruise, you get better value for money. It's kind of win-win. And we'll show you, because we've got a final one now, and this is your chance to go and explore the Far East with Azamara. Now, this is completely different cruising. This is small ship, more inclusive cruising with that really relaxed yet boutique feel. And this is 24 nights getaway all told for March in 2027. And we'll fly you first from Sydney to Singapore. Well, what a better place to be. And you've got 2 nights in the city there to relax, unwind, enjoy, indulge. You know, maybe you've not been for a while. Incredible city. And you can kind of take everything from Singapore: history, culture, modernity, shopping. You know, it really is your absolute oyster. And then it's time for your cruise. Azamara Quest is your beautiful ship, less than 700 people on board, 19 nights of more inclusive beauty. I have to say, well, as you will see on this video, I just had the most wonderful time.
Well, it looks like it, Derek.
Yeah.
And she's a gorgeous ship, you know, stylish, but not overdone. That's the great thing about being on Azamara. You already have so much included in your cruise fare. You've got drinks, so your beers, wines and spirits are all included. Your tips and gratuities are included. Your self-service laundry, as amazing evenings, which we'll tell you more about, and port shuttles in the longer ports as well. So, you know, this is already packed into your cruise fare, so you don't have to even consider it, think about it. But whilst you're on Azamara, expect a larger crew, or shall we say staff to passenger ratio, so you won't have long waiting times when it comes to getting your food served to you at the buffet and the bars and things like that. You know, it just feels like everything is in such a relaxed pace when you're on Azamara, and with them being smaller vessels as well. You know, you've got 700 passengers, but that's the max capacity, so it might even be less at any one time. So lots more space for you to, you know, just be. Fully equipped gym as well, and classes and fitness experts on board. This is going to be really, you will really feel like you are living the life on Azamara. It's got much more of a yacht feel than it does a cruise ship, yet as you'll see when we talk about the pricing, it's not priced like a yacht. It's certainly not even priced like the most 6-star lines are. And that's the lovely thing about it. It's kind of that, it falls in that happy medium actually, between the heightened, you know, luxury vessels and then, you know, a lot of our favorite cruise lines. So I really like that concept. So let's talk about some of the things that you'll get to enjoy on board, the destination experiences on select sailings. These might be local performances coming on board, local cultural market, local experience coming on board for you, destination showcase dinner, where the culinary team on board showcase the best of local flavors with a spectacular evening of fine food and entertainment. So they're always thinking to bring the destination to you on board the ship, and you can see right there. That's the kind of example of these lovely big buffets they'll do, sort of in honor of the different ports that you're heading into. So we're cruising out of Singapore. And first up, we're going to be cruising to beautiful Koh Samui on the coast, the southern coast of Thailand. It feels tropical and beautiful, one of my favorite places to visit. Coconut groves, hillside temples, Ang Thong Marine Park Reserve is a great tour to do whilst you're there. Then it's Bangkok. We have an overnight on board, vivid and unforgettable. This will be where you have your as amazing evening as well. So private cultural performance showcasing classic Thai music and dance in a historic setting. It's intimate, it's immersive, and it's something that's very exclusive as well. I love that. Next up, it's Uniqueville in Cambodia, which opens the door to rural Cambodia. You can see how colourful it is too. It's just beautiful. The countryside and local markets journey is going to be a lovely excursion to do there. You'll go through fishing villages and rice fields and get a sense of the area. Now we've got a double overnight in Ho Chi Minh, which is wonderful. An energetic and layered port. It was once known as Saigon. You've got loads in the surrounding area, including the Mekong Delta, where you can do a paddle tour through the mangroves, the Cu Chi tunnels, go and see the famous Saigon post office, and enjoy it at night too. It's bustling. Then Chiang Mai awaits, and it's your gateway to Vietnam's imperial past. The Hue Imperial City and Perfume River excursion allows you to explore the ancient citadels and pagodas and quiet waterways in a relaxed vibe. Then we have an overnight in Halong Bay, and we're here on overnight to give you an exclusive opportunity to see the beautiful river. So the limestone casts rise out of still water when you take a cruise along Halong Bay, and you can experience the bay at sunset and sunrise. It's again why we stay there. Then we're going to be cruising into Hong Kong, and you've got an overnight on board and then an additional 2-night hotel stay with breakfast. So, you know, what an incredible port Hong Kong is. It's bustling, it's exciting, it's vibrant, and it's split into lots of different neighbourhoods which all have their own identity. Whether you're shopping in the markets, enjoying the Victoria Peak, you'll love Hong Kong. After all of this excitement, we are flying you back to Australia.
And I'm telling you now that this is already a very, very popular trip here at CruiseAway. There are lots of you booked in already. And normally I'd be quite kind of chilled out about that, because normally we'd be talking about a ship that has 3,000 passengers, 5,000 passengers, maybe even more than that. But we're talking about less than 700 people on board this sailing. So a deposit will secure your place today, and we already have a lot of bookings on this one. For that reason, I'm going straight to show you the price tag, because this is very, very different cruising. There's so much more included when you cruise with Azamara. And it is a really, really lovely, relaxed atmosphere on board. You get the best of everything. You're not waiting around at all. You've got more overnights. You've got a double overnight in Ho Chi Minh City on this itinerary as well. So this holiday really is a dream from start to finish, and we've done all the hard work and the bargaining for you and planned the trip just so beautifully. So that's your flight from Sydney to Singapore with a 2-night hotel stay there, and then you have the real occasion, 19 nights on Azamara Quest, drinks included, all your service charges and gratuities, fabulous dining choices, enrichment, entertainment, wonderfully personal and warm service on board, that smaller passenger number, spending longer in those ports that you're going to as well. And I think that for me is the real key here, because if you're going to this part of the world, you want to get straight off the ship. You want to be in there longer. You don't want to be looking at the watch every 5 minutes thinking I need to be back on the ship. You don't have those problems. You've got lots of overnights here as well. Overnights in Bangkok, in Halong Bay, Ho Chi Minh City. You've got Hong Kong there as an overnight at the end of the cruise as well, plus a couple of nights stay in the city too. This has so much going for it, and it is popular already. I'll tell you that right now. Deposit still today though. Here's the details you need to get yourself booked. And having been on myself, I mean, there's nothing better than personal experience sometimes. When you wander around, you just have that feeling that I don't have to think of a thing here. If I want to do absolutely nothing today, that's fine. That's not a problem. If I want to join the rest of the passengers for games and activities, I can. They are there. If I fancy escaping to the spa and just having some lovely treatments, I can do that. You can do whatever you want on one of these, and you feel very, very special indeed. We've negotiated an amazing price tag for that as well, so do take advantage. The number is 1300 407 687. That is toll free to dial into us here at CruiseAway, and I hope you'll think about those wonderful offers that we've had in this show, and there are many more to come. So we're out of time for now, but come and join Joe and myself again as we cruise away soon.